You are listening to We Called Them Angels, a stage play written by Ryan Williams French.
Movement 3, Winged Beauties.
My journal was filled to the brim with different designs for plane models. Planes that could go any and everywhere, and planes of all shapes and sizes. Designing them was my way of tackling my fear of flight. Whenever I was lost or confused or just plain disappointed with myself, I'd design a plane that would take me away from it all, help me forget myself and everything that was holding me back. It got so I built a fortress of planes. They led me on endless travails. If I was lucky, I'd zoom past the Great Pyramid of Giza in my N25 Stearman Yellow Peril. I'd voyage across the universe 10,000 times faster than the speed of light with my C-47 Skytrain. And I'd sing a blues song that would never end while loving my baby, Enola Gay. The list goes on. My walls shimmered with winged beauties.
WIlly, Luke, and Nathan take their places center stage. What follows is an exhibition of plane models that are designed with the use of the actors' bodies. As Jeremiah shouts names of the models from a list, the Henson men do their best to build each plane.
The Sopwith Camel. The Spad 13. The Fokker Triplane. The J&4 Jenny. The F4U Corsair Bad Black Sheep Squadron. The P-51D Mustang Old Crow. Das Messerschmitt.
What? Spit it out, man. What the hell we supposed to do with that?
NE-109 gun. All right. How about the S&J Texan Navy?
Ow!
And last, but certainly not least, the Lockheed Lightning.
This ends the spectacular Henson plane model presentation. Jeremiah addresses the audience.
The planes were my lovers. I created each and every one of them with a piece of myself. The only problem was that I had no one to go on the journey with. I was aimlessly flying past the manifold horizons in my mind, detached from things most people considered important. Always dreaming, always searching, but unable to take hold of whatever it was Luke was talking about.
Caroline enters center stage with a bucket of water and a rag. She begins scrubbing the floors.
Jeremiah, come here and help your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't need to be out there anyways. Your mind is too delicate. If we didn't clean up this house would never be clean.
Jeremiah quietly joins his mother in cleaning.
Boy, you awfully quiet. I swear you just like your grandfather. Always quiet, but mind always wandering everywhere. Faster than a race car.
You want me to go get you some water?
Yes, that would be nice.
Jeremiah walks across the stage and refills the bucket with fresh water. He walks back slowly, observing his mother, who rests on her knees, staring out the window. Jeremiah sets the bucket down and continues scrubbing.
Yeah, you're not like your father. You got yourself some manners, and you're a decent young man. Nice and quiet. That'll get you places in life. You know, I remember when I met him. I thought he was trying me when he asked me if I wanted to fly with him. To tell you the truth, Jeremiah, I thought your daddy was a fool. And it seems your brothers turned out the same. A bunch of wild animals. I wouldn't know they were sane if it wasn't for them being mine.
Caroline rises to her feet and begins watering plants around the house.
You know, I do my best to take care of this house. Take care of these plants. They tell you things when you listen. The plants. Tell you about the world. Tell you about everything. Just like your grandfather you are. Always looking at the world different from everybody else. He listened too. Always listening to what everyone had to say. Everyone and everything. Such a smart man. That's something you do. Even though you always quiet, I know you be listening. Gotta be something going on in that head of yours. That's a gift, boy. No matter what you do, Jeremiah, always listen to your heart. Your dreams will take you places. They will give others the courage to dream. Keep listening to what the world tells you in silence. The sky, the trees, the wind, the leaves, the ocean, the stars, everything.
Willy enters.
I've been looking for you. You're supposed to be out there helping your brothers with the plane. We about to do some loops.
William, leave him alone. I asked him to stay in. I'm supposed to take care of this house by myself?
You keep telling him to stay in, he gonna end up like Miss Charlie's boy.
Why you gotta say that? Jeremiah is your son.
He needs to hear the truth. It's a shame seeing him walk around like that. You don't see it? I do. It's pathetic, Caroline.
The world is filled with all kinds of people. Not everyone was made to fly planes. If you took notice of the things he could do well, maybe that would encourage him to go out with y'all more often.
I'm not gonna treat him any different than the rest.
You do when you come around talking about him ending up like Mr. Charlie's boy.
If we don't tell him now, the world will. Get up. We got work to do.
Willy and Caroline disappear, leaving Jeremiah alone center stage. He addresses the audience.
As a young boy, I realized that life is filled with many conundrums. Unlike my brothers, who I admired for their courage and boldness, I was gifted with endless imagination and a gift for words. But what can you do with that? People will pay to see a man or a woman jump out of a plane. What can you do with your imagination? None of it truly mattered in my family. Because of this, I began to detest the man that I was. Deep down inside, I wanted to do everything I could to make my father proud. The clutch and grip of his hand sang loud and mighty the song of a man who knew how to fight in every way. And this scared me nearly to death because I knew I could never be that man. I'd never be able to satisfy the man with the iron grip. In his eyes, I would remain weak in the shadows of my brothers, men who could fly and loved it, men who were loud and angry, men who drank and cursed like dogs, mad men who were mean and boisterous, men who were ready to kill.
Movement 4. We called them angels.
It wasn't long before my brother's dreams came true. The war struck, and the look and sound of our city instantly changed. Our streets were lined with the color of green, and the sound of proud and orderly footsteps adorned our sidewalks. When we saw those men dressed in their uniforms and wearing their medals, we were proud. Proud to be colored, and proud to be American. We called them angels. For the first time, we saw ourselves as heroes. All the young boys in town modeled themselves after these men, and all the girls dreamt of being with them. I remember the cleanliness of their attire. I can still smell the starch off of Luke and Nathan's finely pressed uniforms today.
Lights up on the Henson family standing outside of the train station. Luke and Nathan wear their uniform, and Jeremiah carries luggage. Caroline and Willy stand hand in hand. June, now Luke's fiancée, carries a gift.
Well, Mom Pops, Guess it's time for me to thank you for everything before I go. You know how much I love the both of you.
Luke and Nathan embrace Caroline and kiss her cheek. They both give Willie a hug and firm handshake.
No, son. Thank you.
All right, you boys. Go out there and make us proud, all right?
You know we always do.
Jenny will be waiting your return till the day you come back.
Lord, how time passes. Look at you two in your uniform. You be safe.
We will.
You don't have to worry about me.
And send us letters whenever you can.
Yes, ma'am.
And make sure you let us know if you need anything or have any problems.
Caroline, the boys are fine. They know what they're doing.
I know, but you can never be too sure.
They'll let us know if they need anything.
I'm fine, Mama. I'll be writing you as much as I can.
June approaches Luke and grabs his arm.
Why you gotta leave me here in this dry town?
Girl, you know I won't be long. I promise. Think of me in your dreams. I'll be thinking of you.
I'm gonna be thinking about the sound of your voice.
And only mine. Don't you be thinking about some other man.
June smacks Luke on his arm.
Boy, get out of here. Don't you be fixing your eyes on some woman. I know where you are. Don't think I can't come to Europe and find a little white girl you messing around with. Think of you in my dreams. What kind of mess is that?
I'm gonna miss you, baby. Ain't no other woman gonna ever take the Lady June's place.
I know you will. Ain't no other man will ever take the place of my Luke.
Luke and June kiss.
Come on, man, we gotta go.
Luke, ignoring Nathan, goes over to Jeremiah.
You keep writing, all right?
Yep.
I expect you to have a novel written by the time I get back.
Luke checks a pocket in his backpack and pulls out a wrap box and hands it to Jeremiah.
This is for you.
Can I open it?
Not now.
Charleston leaving in 5. Charleston leaving in 5.
Guess I better get going. You be good now. I love all of you.
Luke grabs his luggage and heads off stage to board a train with Nathan. Everyone exits except Willie and Jeremiah. Willie addresses the audience.
I must have been about 21. Yeah, 21. We was in France, Bellawood. It was me, Private Henry Johnson, or Black Death, as we call him, and Private Needham Roberts. Just the three of us. We were on guard duty. And out of nowhere came about 50 Huns.
50? Now, the thing about my father is that he always over-exaggerated everything. I asked Mom about this, and she told me there were actually 4 of them.
Yeah, at least 50. So, there we were. Just the 3 of us with our 3 guns, scared shitless. But that didn't stop us from getting them. We unloaded all our bullets on them suckers. Must have killed about 38 of them before we were out of ammo. And the next thing you know, we're dodging bullets and we're rolling around. We're in the mud. It got so bad, we had to climb into a trench just to protect ourselves. So, time passes. And I tell Johnson and Roberts that we should use our hands and knives. So, we quickly jump out of the trench and we rush them. Making use of the bottom of our rifles and knives. It was a mess. Blood everywhere. And then one of the Huns, he jumped on my back, and I turned his ass over, and I broke his neck with my bare hands. All I had was the sin of victory on my mind. And then the next thing I know, I see smoke, and it's rising up from the ground. I realized those bastards, they done gassed us. And I couldn't breathe. It felt like fire in my lungs and shit. I thought I was going to die. Fortunately, Private Johnson managed to finish the sucker that gassed us. Both him and Private Needham immediately lifted me from the ground and carried me back to the base. And here I am. My lungs ain't worth shit, but I got me a Purple Heart.
You still talk to Private Johnson and Needham?
John died, penniless, alone, about 10 years ago. I don't know where Needham is, but I imagine he back in Chicago.
You ought to retire.
No. I do what I do because I know I got a family to take care of. If I didn't do the flying circus, we'd be out on the street. A father. Gotta put his family first.
Even if it means death?
Even if it means death.
President Harry S. Truman walks on stage and announces the end of World War II.
From this day, we move forward. We move toward a new era of security at home. With the other United Nations, we move toward a new and better world of cooperation, of peace, and international goodwill. God's help has brought us to this day of victory. With His help, we will attain that peace and prosperity for ourselves and all the world in the years ahead.
Harry S. Truman exits the stage, leaving Jeremiah alone in his bedroom drawing.
Victory was all but sweet. As soon as my brothers returned home, we learned that they were not the same men. Luke was no longer the storyteller who encouraged me to dream. He lost that look of wonder in his eyes.
Lights up on dining room of the Henson house. Caroline is sweeping. Luke knocks on the door. Caroline answers.
Luke, where you been? June been asking about you.
Been out.
At work?
Yep.
Have yourself a seat. You hungry?
Not really. I just wanted to stop by for a minute. Get some rest, if that's all right with you.
You know I don't mind. It's your daddy you gotta worry about.
Daddy. How he been treating you?
Luke, hush. He in the other room. Let me warm you up some stew. I made some yesterday.
Sounds like good eating. But my stomach not in the mood for food right now.
Food ain't done any harm to anybody besides you look like you need to eat. I've never known Mr. Tyler to let people out early.
Mama, I don't need you studying me. Where Jeremiah?
I don't know. Why?
I got something for him.
You know your daddy not gonna be happy about you walking around smelling like gin.
Luke collapses on the dining room table and sits silently. Caroline stares at him. WIlly enters from upstage.
Boy, why you over here at this time? You heard me?
I lost my job. June threatened to leave.
Well, how you do that?
Mr. Tyler. I got tired of putting up with his shit.
What'd you do?
I ain't do nothing. He called me boy.
Lucas, I'm not stupid. Don't nobody get fired for being called boy.
When I was over there in Germany, now they told us that they would be sending us to a camp to free some prisoners. But what I witnessed over there, I'll never forget. I mean, we got there and it was hell. Men, women, children, nothing but skin and bones. Looks on those people's faces, it was starving. Now, I kept thinking to myself, now, how could it ever get this bad? So many people regarded as animals. But when they saw our faces, small glimmer of hope showed up. And I guess they realized we was there to help them. They treated us like heroes. One man kneeled at my feet, crying. Now, I kept trying to get away, but he wouldn't let go of my leg. He just wouldn't. And I could tell he saw things that he knew other people would never understand. And when I looked in his eyes, I seen what he was feeling. A knowingness that things wouldn't be normal again. Then I come back here. Can't get no real job. Shit, I'm working at the mill factory. No one even over there even looks me in my eye.
Stop that crying. What you do?
I hit Mr. Tyler.
You what?
You heard me the first time. I says I hit Mr. Tyler.
Now why you going to do that? Why?
William, let go of him.
This is me and the boys' business. Get out. Now you look at me. And you tell me what happened.
They killed Tommy. Kill him for no reason. He was with me in Germany, France. He fought over there just like me. He's a good man, a soldier, good soldier. Tommy risked his life for this damn country, and what he get? We both been working over there at the mill. last week, Deborah, his wife, kept calling in asking if he showed up to work. Because she ain't seen him in a couple of days. And, we always knew that Tommy liked to drink, go out. But we never known him to take off for a few days. So over time, I started thinking thoughts like, I hope Tommy didn't go and do something to himself. I mean, I know what we saw was rough, but I pray to the Lord that he ain't do something crazy to himself like some of the boys. So last Sunday, I'm out fishing by the river. And on my way back home, I done smell a scent I can remember from the war. It smelled so bad I had to stop myself from puking. And what I find? Corporal Tommy Robinson hanging from a tree, bloated and rotting. Chain wrapped around his neck, blood down his chest. I ain't sitting around here no more. I'm a soldier, damn it. This is my country, too.
You fought, and that makes you a soldier. Don't let this world break you. When you signed up to wear that uniform, nobody promised you it was going to be easy when you got back. And nobody promised Tommy neither. Only you can decide what all that fight meant to you. That's why I kept flying.
Don't make a difference. We all know why Tommy is dead.
Mr. Tyler ain't had nothing to do with Tommy's death.
What he do to anybody? He fought for this country, and what he get? What Deborah get?
Stop raising your voice at me. Ever since you come back, you've been sitting around this house, drinking gin and smelling the smoke, putting your mama and I through hell. I don't know what happened to you. Don't you see she's not feeling well? Sometimes you just gotta deal with things the way they are. You can't go on fighting the world. Nobody will listen.
I'm tired of dealing. That's all you ever done. I remember growing up, how much I hated seeing you at the flying circus getting told, boy this, boy that. I told myself, I ain't gonna be like him. People gonna respect me. People gonna see me as the man I am, not some boy like you.
Get out my house.
You send me out, I ain't never coming back.
I don't want you back. You can't even handle your own business. You should be with June.
Caroline and Jeremiah enters.
Pop, stop. Luke don't know what he's saying.
WIlly charges at Luke.
Say it to my face.
Stop it, both of you, stop it.
WIlly's anger has an effect on his health. This does not stop him from pursuing Luke.
That's what I thought. Look at his old ass. I don't need him to tell me to leave. I'll leave myself.
Get out!
WIlly, that's enough. I know this is your house, but you gotta understand that this is my house, too. Luke is my child. I will not stand here and watch you beat my sons anymore.
What are you talking about? Oh, I only tried
Since they've come back, all you've done is raise your voice. You don't even listen. What about them? They're not boys anymore. They're men. Look at them. It wasn't wise, but don't beat Luke for doing what he did. How's he ever gonna learn for himself?
How he gonna learn?
Pops, Mom is right about Luke.
Jeremiah, hush and get to your room.
Jeremiah exits the house, walks outside, and stares into the night sky. Nathan approaches him.
Figured you'd be out here.
What do you want?
I can't talk to my own brother.
You ain't had nothing to say to me before.
We was young. I was stupid. You want some?
Jeremiah takes flask from Nathan and takes a sip.
You got yourself a girl.
Maybe. Why?
You 17. Hell, I wish I was 17 years old again. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, I'll tell you that.
I got me a friend, just ain't nothing serious.
Who said anything about it having to be serious? Those be the ones you can have a good time with. That's all we had overseas.
What happened to Darlene?
She went crazy on me, man. Talking about she want a ring for it to mean something. I told her I wanted to get some work first, but no. She didn't want to listen. She decided to take off and go to St. Louis.
Nathan, if you think you were in love with her, I don't think you should let her go. You can always go after her. Nothing's stopping you. In fact, there's probably more work for you in St. Louis than there is over here.
Don't ever go chasing after a woman. Ain't no loving that good.
That all she meant to you?
Damn, boy, you want to be with her or something? Seems like you know more about her than me.
Nathan looks at WIlly's Jenny.
This girl right here, though, ooh, I could stare at her all day.
Nathan rubs his hand against the plane's exterior.
She is nice. She just needs a little bit of work.
That's nothing we can't do.
Nathan climbs inside the plane and offers Jeremiah a hand to join him.
You know I'm leaving soon, right?
Yeah, Mama told me. Cornell, right?
Yeah, full scholarship.
How much longer you here?
Till August.
Good for you, little man. Get out of here. This place ain't for folks like you. If you want something in this world, you gotta go for it.
Ever worry while you over there?
Of course I worried. Every day I woke up not knowing if it were my last. But I'd force myself not to think of serving in a war like that. I'd say whatever happens is as God sees it to happen.
That does not sound too promising.
I beg to differ. When I'm flying, I always look down and see how perfectly aligned everything is. I mean, from a certain height, everything looks as if it's been etched by somebody's hand. And that's how I know there's a God. Sometimes I think there's a plan. None of us knows it yet, but there is a plan for all of us.
I've been thinking the same thing myself. I have dreams all the time where I see people inside their own planes, in transit, searching for their own private nirvana. I'm always looking up at the sky to see what I can find.
Heck, I feel like I don't know where I'm going anymore.
What you mean by that? You're already doing a lot. Mom and Pops talk about you all the time, even when you're not around.
I always knew if anybody would make it out of here, it would be you. Truth be told, I'm always bragging about you at the base.
Really?
Even though Pops don't say anything about you going to school, he know you doing good. I spend a lot of time doing things to make him proud. Now that I'm back, I realize I don't have much to show for myself. It's like I'm living another man's life.
I'm proud of you, Nathan. It takes a lot of strength to put yourself out there like that. Give yourself some credit.
You want to know something funny? Whole time I was on duty, I toyed with the idea of not coming back. I hated Pops for the way he treated Mama. I knew if I went missing, it would make him angry. That man wouldn't be able to live with himself knowing that I served in the war because of him.
You talking about our father?
I know who I'm talking about. Ain't got no guilt either. You see what he done to Luke? What he done to Mama? Can't nobody ever tell him when he in the wrong. I spent my whole life trying to keep things from Daddy. Because if I had told him, he would have killed me.
That's a bit serious. I don't think Pops would
Everyone has things about themselves they ain't proud of. Things they ain't want anybody to know. Best thing for them to do is hide. Sometimes I feel like something is eating my soul because I am ashamed. That's the only reason why I fly.
Nathan takes another sip from his flask.
All I started thinking about was me and my plane. She treats me good. There's nothing I gotta hide from her. I tell her everything, and she listens.
I get scared myself and think about hiding. I say whatever it is that is hurting you inside, to hell with it. Who cares what other folks think? I'm serious, man.
I hear you. Let's go fly, Jenny.
Nathan remains seated in the plane. Jeremiah climbs out of the plane and walks center stage. Nathan fades into the dark.
That was our routine for the remainder of my time there. Every night, Nathan would ask if I would join him outside, and I'd go. We'd drink, talk, and always end the night with him battling his demons. I learned more about my brother in those brief hours of the night than I did all the years growing up with him. I don't think either of my brothers were able to forgive themselves or my father.
Movement 5. Jeremiah takes flight.
Jeremiah sits in a field. studying the sky. A flock of crows swoop by and descend to the ground several meters away from Jeremiah. He stares at the crows from afar. Jeremiah rises to approach the crows, and as he walks toward them, a small plane, about the size of a nickel, buzzes by the side of Jeremiah's left ear. He stares at the plane in bewilderment. The small plane hovers, escaping into the immense fog. Jeremiah thinks about what he has just witnessed. A faint sound of buzzing is heard again. Jeremiah searches for the source of the sound and discovers a group of planes, all the size of the former, about the size of a nickel, appearing through the fog. The planes are assembled in a flock of their own. 4 planes are piloted by Caroline, Willie, Nathan, and Luke. Together they buzz by without notice of Jeremiah. Jeremiah follows the planes as they move slowly in front of him. They take him through the fields until they reach an immense oak tree about the size of a boat. The oak tree has an allure of promise. Its stems stretch outward with great expanse. The planes ascend, following one another, abandoning Jeremiah as he tries his best to take hold of one of them. They disappear. Jeremiah stares at the tree, alone and disenchanted.
Jeremiah puts on a jacket and sunglasses.
After I got a degree, I landed a job as an aeronautical engineer. All those years writing in my journal amounted to something. I designed a popular new model. She had trial runs in Memphis, Detroit, St. Louis, and New York. And we scored promoters in South Korea and Ethiopia. Back home, Pops ended up selling the farm and Jenny to save up money, but that didn't stop his health from declining. Even though Mama left, she'd write letters asking to check up on him. It took some years, but I finally gave it a shot.
Jeremiah walks from stage left into the center and enters a hospital bedroom. Willie lies on the hospital bed.
Hey, Pops. What do you want?
I just come to see you.
Why you come now? Ain't seen you in 3 years.
I don't know, I guess after Mama left, I didn't think you wanted to see me.
Ain't you my boy?
Yeah?
Then why would you say that? I know I said and done some foolish things, but we all have, including you. So, what you want?
I did it. I'm not afraid of flying anymore, Pops.
You came all the way over here to tell me that you ain't afraid of flying? That's about the dumbest thing that you could have done.
I made the plane that I was always telling you about. She fast, too. Real fast. Flies 10,000 times faster than the speed of light. I want to take you on a ride.
She fast, huh? What's her name?
Freedom. She's gorgeous. She got wings like an eagle, all dressed up with the Rolls-Royce Neen Series turbojet. They're talking about making her standard.
They is, huh?
They sure is, Pa.
Look at me. I can't even move. I can't go like this.
What happened to the man who killed 50 Huns with his bare hands?
He's still there. I just don't got much left in me. Why? You want to fight?
And put your old butt in the grave? No, thank you.
You're the only one to come back. For a while, I was thinking I'd be locked up in this room till the day I die without seeing any of you.
Come on, Pop. Don't do that right now, all right? I'm here now.
I know. I just always knew this day was coming.
How so?
You were different. Kept having those dreams. You may not have been as tough and as quick as your brothers, but I knew you was going to be something. I was just too prideful to admit it. When I found out about Nathan, I tried my best to help that boy. I did everything I could to make him right. but I couldn't do it.
Come on, let me get you up. The doctor told me you need to move around during my visit. I'm going to lift up your legs first, all right?
Jeremiah, I couldn't do it. I was a horrible father.
No, you weren't. Who Nathan is has nothing to do with you. We all made our own choices. I could have been a better son. Heck, we all could have been better.
You said her name was Freedom, right?
Yes. Freedom.
All right. All right. You can take me to give her a look.
The young man carries his father to a plane. The plane can be as small as a needle or as large as Nebraska. The young man sets his father down in the passenger seat. Once he secures himself, he ignites the engine. As the plane takes flight, the world begins to move with the young man and his father. Time stops, and everything no longer matters. This will be good for you. Where do you want to go?
I don't know. Surprise me.
You know there's no going back.
I know.
The funny thing about flying is that you often don't know where you're going. You just get on a plane, you fly and take a journey, and you hope to return home having seen something new. You hope to have changed. In some way, you're wiser than you were before. Because isn't that what life is? A constant reaching toward a bright horizon. I flew my father in one of my planes in the last flight of his life. I took him before the sun set because dusk was his favorite time of day. I'll never forget how overjoyed that man was to sit down with his son on a plane called Freedom. We ventured across the universe and flew from the flat plains of Illinois to Mozambique. We glided through desert storms and zoomed past the Rocky Mountains, trying to get away from it all. All the noise, meaningless noise and meaningless pain, trying to catch hold of beauty from the past and what we had already lost. I took my father to see his first love and his last. We soared from one generation to the next as we witnessed our forefathers, men and women alike, who struggled to find a way, who struggled to hold on. Now when I look up, all I see are ghosts, miracles from a time not yet forgotten. As more and more planes filled the sky, there wasn't a place for men like my fathers or brothers. Planes lost their novelty because the sky was filled with them. Yet even in their absence, I can still hear their laughter. I can listen to their songs. I keep my eyes to the horizon, wings expanded, infinite, knowing one day we will meet again.
Lights out. End of play.